Okay, so Eugene, thank you so much. I think this is a year and a half in the making, but
Ye-
finally managed to track you down. So thanks so much, man, for doing this.
Anytime, man, anytime.
So what's been happening? I see a lot of guitar playing videos and things that you put up. So what's been
I'm
happening now in the lockdown?
just occupying my mind. Yeah, I mean, time obviously lockdown and all things are happening around the world. I just hope everyone's safe and so on. I know what's going on, so yeah, just trying to get the days to go by. Just fiddling with stuff here and there.
Any favorite songs?
I just keep listening. There are quite a lot of songs are there. I just keep listening from one song to another, just to have an insight to different ways of playing and different kind of music.
Yeah, I heard somewhere that you are now into Swedish heavy metal or something. Is that true?
I was listening to a lot of In Flames lately. Yeah?
Hmm.
So the band In Flames is from Sweden. So been into them for quite some time now.
Heavy metal, huh?
I won't say that heavy. I think the over the years they've progressed the way they've played. They've been
Hmm.
very strong before. Now they've been a little relaxed in the way, but then I feel the music is good nonetheless.
Okay, cool. I had to check them out. I don't know about that band. I've been into Riverside of late. I think they put out a new album, so that's what I was
No,
listening.
I've never heard of Riverside.
Dude, it's amazing. They are the post rock band.
Okay,
So
okay, fine. I'll check it out.
yeah, I'll send you the link if you want to check them out.
Okay, cool, cool.
So what else is happening? Let's talk about football now.
Yeah, sure.
So what's happening, man? Like last season, we'll go East Bengal, not the best of seasons for the club. So how was last season for you?
I think the last you can say last 2-3 seasons have not been very good. I mean, when it comes to playing time or getting opportunity to play, I think the last 3 seasons have been very, very bad. And obviously, I think it happens. And obviously, when it comes to a team, when it comes to the coach, where I'm not very sure whether the coach wants me to play, wants me, or where the coach has got a different perspective of the kind of players that he wants on his team. So that is, it happens. So, but yeah, but like me, 3 years have been very, very, according to me, I've been very, very bad. But I think that's life. That's how football is, and just had to get along with it. Be happy with what has happened.
Yeah, the injury troubles are all gone, right? Now you're fine. You're fit.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm all recovered. I'm fit.
Because when we last spoke when you were in Bengaluru, I remember I
Yeah.
thought, especially in January with the Asian Cup, those qualifier games, you would get more time to play. I think you got injured at that time. Some sort of injury.
I got a little knock on my right knee. I got a little knock on my right knee and the MCL. I got a strain in the MCL.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So what's the next season looking like? Do you have any idea where you're headed? Or?
Right now, I'm not thinking about football, man. Right now, just after the season with East Bengal, I was like very, very disappointed, and so not that not happy with myself. I have, I have full faith in my capabilities. But then obviously, like I said, different coaches have different preference of different kinds of players playing in the positions that they play or the system that they want to play. So but that's why, as of now, I've not really thought about football. Just letting my mind be away from football time being.
So you're going to play, right?
Huh?
You're going to continue playing, right?
Yeah, I'll play. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Because
provided someone's interested.
no. There will always be interest for sure. You don't
Yeah.
have to worry about that one. 'Cause I know a couple of coaches who still talk about it personally.
Yeah.
So obviously there is a lot of goodwill. And while I was doing research, I mean, many people may have forgotten or like you said, last 3 years you have not played so much, right? But you
Yeah.
were at one time at par with Sunil in terms of getting the money auction. something crore. You and Sunil, you were the
Nah,
player of the
man,
year.
nah. I mean, see, money is nothing like that, man. But like Sunil
No,
has
money is
story.
validation, right?
No, I mean, forget money, man. I mean, football has always been a passion, and just being able to play, being happy, doing the things that you love and earning. I think that is one part of it. I've never really thought about the money part when it came to football, but but it did help me financially, and be able to support my family. But I think most important thing was being happy on the pitch, being happy training every day, being happy seeing the faces of the teammates every day. But nonetheless, obviously, I mean, you can't say be on par with Sunil. I mean, Sunil's obviously just above everyone else. When it comes to being a footballer, being the professional that he is. So he's still going at this rate at a very, I mean, I won't say he's old because his body isn't old. So
Yeah, he looks after himself very, very well. You have to give him that.
yeah.
Well, Eugene, you spoke about how football is about happiness. It's money is an important factor, yes, but for you personally, it's about the happiness that you derive from the game, right? And after a high that you had, say, 3 years ago, then came the low patch because of injuries and not finding the right team to play with. How difficult was that period for you to adjust to the sudden change? Because in a footballer's career, changes are sudden. Your high is a sudden high, then your low is also a sudden low. So how difficult was on a personal level for you to adjust to these changes?
Uh, the moment I got injured, I'd already analyzed, I would say, the consequences of what could happen.
So you're talking about the first injury, right? Back in
Yeah,
20.
yeah. So I'd analyze myself of what could happen, or the probabilities that could happen. So I was already prepared for what could happen because, after a serious injury, there are many things that many coaches would doubt, before they even think whether the player can play or not. They already think, oh, he's got an injury, So I've always felt that. But then I say I wasn't sad that I got injured. On when I came back, I wasn't sad because obviously up till the day I got injured, I was very happy playing football. And I got injured because I was playing football, not something else. Or I had, God forbid, I had a motor accident or this and that prevented me from playing football. I got injured in a football pitch, so I wasn't really, really, depressed or sad. But it is a part of the game that that I've learned to accept way before. And obviously, not being able to play on a match days is sad. But come match day +1, when we have start training, I get to play. That is when my mind just is again happy because I get to play, I get to train, I get to do it. The only day when I'm sad is when I don't get selected into the match day squad, meaning like the first 11, the playing team. That is only when I'm pissed off. But otherwise, when I'm just on the pitch training, I just forget everything that maybe what has happened in my life, or the high or the lows. It's just about the moment that I'm living. So I think it's very important that players don't overthink too much about. I think it's important that they enjoy every moment that they have. If they're playing, even if they're not playing, maybe they work harder, because it's very important that to understand that when you're able to play, your mind is happy, there's nothing that can stop you. But the moment you get injured, it's very tough to get your mind in the right state of mind. So it's very, very important that players learn to take care of themselves, learn to be happy, content, and most of all, to enjoy being fit.
Will it be right for me to say that once you have the ball at your feet, you are the most happiest?
Yeah, definitely. When you have the ball feet and when you're training, especially, there's no joy. It just the 1 hour and a half, 2 hours just pass by without even you noticing the time. So it's I think for me, football has always been something that I would say a love at first sight, and something that has, like if I can get to play for 8 hours a day, also I'll still be happy. I won't get tired. Like you understand. It's the love that I have for the game, and even till date, I'm very passionate about the game. Very passionate about playing. Most importantly.
So what was it like last season? You have played in the biggest clubs. in the country. You played for the national team. You've seen just about anything there is to see on the biggest stage, also in the Asian AFC Cup Final and things like that. So how was it last season? Because from the outside, for us, it was it looked like there was no, like you said, it just felt like there were a lot of square pegs in round holes. Let's say the way the team was playing.
First of all, I would say is that Robbie Fowler didn't have the opportunity to make a team because he came to India. I think this was his first time in India, and he obviously didn't have a say at what players to get. I mean, he had a say on only to get a foreign player, but he didn't have a say to get Indian players that he want, or the kind of style that he wanted to play. And we started our preseason late compared to other teams, so I would say a lot had to do with the team preparation, and obviously Robbie being his first time in India, and not knowing the players that he's got with him, the Indian players I'm saying. So it's important that I feel that a coach needs to be able to have a say, in getting the players that he want, and then obviously the team can move on from there, and then you can expect outcomes, results from the coach. So I felt that he needed time, and obviously if he had got the right players in his team, and he would do better.
But when you're as a player in such a situation where the coach is not happy with the squad he has, but he's still trying to figure something out throughout the season, how does a player react to this? Like, you are there to do a job, but you're not able to give your best because it's not the best setup to be in.
It's very, very tough, bro. I mean, because certain players suit a certain style of play. Like for example, if you look at Glenn Martins, he never had an opportunity to play in Goa or in ETK. But when he went to Goa and you see him playing the Champions League, you feel like it's a revelation for him. So it's important that players fit into a system. And obviously we try our best, we try this, but obviously when results don't come, you get frustrated, team gets frustrated, but then it's not easy. I mean, you see it happening worldwide, and players fitting into a system and players don't fit in the system. Like, for example, you look at Chelsea, you win the Champions League with a different coach, but a previous coach felt that certain players didn't fit in the system, and then they fit another coach system and they go on and win the Champions League. So it's football is like, it's like a puzzle where everything, like right from the top, from the management all the way down to the kid man, everything has to be in sync that, you can get success. And to be able to get success, I mean, it's important that the coach knows how to get the best out of what he has. It's important to understand the situation that the players, so it's not, you can't just be limited to I want to do this means I have to do this. But if you don't have the set, like for example, like you make use of what you have and try to get the best out of it. So that's important, I feel. But nonetheless, I think as professionals, we should be able to adjust to whatever kind of coach comes and whatever he wants to play. It's very, very important.
Okay, now let's go to happier topics, slightly further back. So, and I just like you and I have something similar in that we are both engineering people. I didn't have the guts to leave engineering midway, but I finished engineering in 6 years or 7 years because I had 16 back papers. I was not interested at all. But eventually, I got it through. But by that time, I'd already started working also. So I was doing the thing simultaneously. So how big a decision was it for you to leave engineering in the third year? You had almost reached the other end. Like you could have just come to the other end.
I know, like you, I also had a lot of papers,
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I think that made it easier for me to quit.
Let's not just get going.
Else, I think if I had done well my third year, probably I don't think so. I would end up being a football player. But I think because those back papers made me have a year down, so it gave me the opportunity to play football year round, and that's when things turn around. You understand? So if that didn't happen, I don't think so. I would have quit engineering and maybe I would have just continued studying, and I don't think I would have ever played football.
You would have lost a great midfielder also of that era. But seriously, because for me, there was no year back. We could carry papers to the next year. So I went with 16 papers into the final year. In the final year, I managed to clear everything on time because at that time I thought, okay, now I'm here, I have to finish it. Till then, I was,
Okay.
studying Lord of the Rings, Elven language and all during the exams because I was not interested at all. But eventually it worked out. But then you went to your dad's club, Harima, at
Yeah.
that time, played over there. Then your dad told you to go to Shillong.
No. What happened is, at that time, we were playing the second division as well. I think in 2009. Yeah, I think 2009. 2009. Yeah, 2009. We played second division. 9, 10. We played, and I think 11. Did Lajong qualify again in the year 11? I think to the I League. They got promoted to I League again, and in that year, Lajong and us, the final round happened in Shillong.
Okay.
So that time United Sikkim was there. I think Vasco was there. What all team was there? Shillong Lajong. A couple of teams I don't remember. So we ended up playing each other. So Lajong qualified, and one more team qualified. I don't remember that year. But then we didn't qualify. So what happened is then Pradyum Reddy was a coach at Lajong at that time. So he's the one who came and spoke to me, and he called me up. He said like, would you like to join Lajong and play the I League? So then at that point of time, I was like, this was the greatest opportunity for me to play, at the biggest stage of Indian football. So I spoke to my dad. Then after we spoke, then things happened, and then I ended up playing for Lajong. And if it wasn't for Pradyum, I don't think so I would have ended up playing for Lajong, because he was the one who persuaded me to come and join.
Yeah, he's told me this story. But I thought your dad was like, go and play. And then you went back to, by that time it was
So
Rangvijay.
what happened is, I spoke with my dad, and then my dad obviously agreed.
Mhm.
Then after 2 years, then Rangvijay, Ahima changed its name to Rangvijay, and then they qualified for the I League. And that is when I left Lajong and went to join Rangvijay. Then we played the I League that year. I think we did fairly well, and we did manage to stay in the league, but due to some criteria, the IFF prevented us from playing the following season. And then I ended up. Then Pradyum again called me that Ashley wanted me. Then it's like as if Pradyum was taking me along wherever he went. So then Pradyum called me. Actually, Pradyum called me earlier, the first season that BFC went. And I said Rangvijay is there, so I can't join.
Okay.
Then the following year, obviously, then Ashley saw me playing. Then Ashley called me. Ashley called me as well. Then I ended up going to BFC, and then that's where things started.
So can you tell a little bit about the Shillong derby? Because you had the Rangvijay, the Royal Lyngdoh at that time, and Shillong Lajong is also there. So what was that derby like? Like, it's not a derby that's too.
I mean, in Shillong, the Shillong League is very, very, very popular here. I mean, so when local clubs play here, I mean, like there are lots of people who come to the stadiums to watch the games, and it's very, very interesting when you have, like, I don't know whether you've been to Shillong before.
Yeah.
And the first ground, we call it. So that is where the league used to happen, and the games are almost always packed.
Okay.
Like we'd have 8,000 at least people watching, local league matches. And it's quite interesting because people in Shillong, they know football, and everyone watches football, and everyone has a team that they support locally. So that is what has really passionate about people here when it comes to football. With Lajong going into the I League has really, like put a benchmark for other football clubs in Shillong, that this is what we need to look forward to. And obviously playing in the derby, playing for Rangvijay against Lajong, it was a great experience because this derby was played at national level, not at the local level. And people from all over Meghalaya, from all over East Khasi Hills, Jaintia Hills, and West Khasi Hills, they all come to watch the matches. So whenever it happens, whenever a local team is playing, even when you look at the home matches, whenever a home match happens in Shillong, there are always people watching. Like, unlike when you go to Calcutta or only Calcutta, if only Mohun Bagan, East Bengal play each other, then it's packed. Else others hardly.
Right.
So it's people here. That's why I said people here know football and they're very passionate about the game. And it's I can't describe how you feel it. You can only feel it. It's like when you're actually present at the stadium and the atmosphere. It's something that I can't say in words, but it's just only the feeling that I have in my mind. As from a player's point of view, like how it feels like, and maybe from a spectator's point of view, sitting in the pitch and supporting your team, and knowing if your team wins, you're happy, but if your team loses, how sad you feel, and when your other team, the local the derby, you just feel like like you have the bragging rights kind of.
So
Yeah.
how does, as a player, do you listen to fans when you're playing?
I mean,
Because
like obviously
Cantina was very loud, I remember.
No, I mean like when the fans shout, it's like you get an extra push when fans are there, when fans are behind you. You get an extra push, you get extra energy, and I think BFC when playing at home have always been. I feel they're invincible because of the fans. And the fans have always, I feel Bangalore fans have always been there. They've always backed the players, always backed the team. And the fact that they have made chance for players, I mean, it just, you feel privileged, to be playing for a team and playing for fans like them. And when you hear the chants that they chant for you, and then you feel like, I need to be doing more for them, so that they can have the joy. And so it's a very reciprocal thing. I feel that fans and football are one. Without the fans, I feel football is dull.
How was it last season then without fans? Like, and I think BFC struggled a little bit because there was nobody there. They're never used to playing without that amount of fan support.
I think I would say it was a tough situation for every football player last season. Obviously, when you're in a bubble for close to 5-6 months, and you go to a stadium, empty stadium, and then it's I think it's hard, but I think all credit goes to the players, the management, to the people who run the ISL, because if it wasn't for them, I don't think the league would have happened. And all of credit goes to each and every one of us who were a part of it. And it's not easy to play without fans, but it has to go on,
Yeah.
And we have to go on with it for, I think maybe hopefully this season will be out. It might change.
Hopefully.
Yeah, because the other day I was watching Premier League match. The last weekend was the first time they had fans, right?
Fans, right?
And I heard them say "man on" when they were pressing.
Yeah.
I was so happy. I was like, hey, this is not the dull sound that you always hear. There's like normal people over there and making noise. So that was very different. But
Eugene, before we move on to your time in Bangalore and the wonderful time you had with BFC, one thing I wanted to know about Meghalaya football is when you played in back home and to a very long time, till a very long time, teams from Meghalaya did really well at the national stage also, right? Which Shillong, Lojang, one of the primary teams there. But over the past few seasons, that's not been the scene. How much has that affected the local football in Meghalaya, given that there is nothing to aspire for now, even because people have seen clubs stumble after playing the National League?
So what I feel is, I mean like when the ISL came on, I know like I'll just say for example like Rangjit or Shillong Lojong, we have hope of playing at the national level is because of promotion. I mean, clubs from the Northeast, I don't think we would be equipped to have a lot of money to play in the ISL and spend a lot of money like the way ISL Cup spend. But I mean, to be playing in an I League which has got, I mean, to be first in the past few years, I mean, the past 6 years, it's just playing. It's like participating, but it doesn't feel like if you know what I mean. So I mean, it became pointless for example, for us. Why should we spend lots of money to go and qualify for the I-League when there's nothing? We don't gain anything from it. So it's better playing the local league, but which is sad because local players who aspire to use these clubs as a stepping stone so that they're lost. But for us, Lajong, like for Lajong, for us teams, like many teams who get promoted to the I-League through the second division, and then like hoping, like for example, like Aizol got promoted, played the I-League, won the I-League, played Champions League qualifiers, and played the AFC Cup. So I mean, that is the ideal thing that each and every club from here would want to follow. You understand what I mean? So, but for us to sustain like how the ISL club sustained, it's very hard. Okay, maybe we get promoted, then we get relegated, and again, like how it's supposed to be. Yes, we will have motivation to make teams to to participate, to get promoted, and but then if we're just spending money and then we're just stuck there idle, then I feel it's pointless.
Like,
so it's very important that
right, what you spoke about is a natural trajectory. You win, you get
yes.
If you don't perform well, you get relegated. That's a natural trajectory, but that's not what we've been seeing, unfortunately, in Indian football. Given that, what is the chatter in Meghalaya? Like, what are the upcoming generation of footballers aspiring for?
I think we have a lot of footballers here. The only thing, like I said, is the thing is they don't go out to play, so they're hoping that clubs from Meghalaya play in the national level, and then they get, like I said, a stepping stone.
Right.
That's very important. Stepping stone. Like as an example from myself, I played for India because I played for Lajong, and Lajong was playing at the I-League, and then because I played for Lajong the I-League, then I get to I played for Ranji I-League, and then a club like BFC calls me, and then I play for BFC, and then I get to play for Indian national team.
You get noticed.
So, yeah, so it's step by step progress, So I mean that I feel that is what is important for kids from our region, that they get up because they're from Northeast. In Northeast, that's playing at level Aizol. Right now, they're playing in the I-League is Aizol, Neroka, Trau, and Northeast United is playing the ISL. So it's important that we have more teams from Meghalaya as well that actually, wants to play at a national level, and then we provide a stepping stone or provide a platform for the kids. Many kids, like if we have a team from Meghalaya, then at least it can provide us a platform for at least 30 plus kids. So 30 plus kids, and then they get, they get to showcase the talent. Then obviously, eventually, they get called by clubs, which is very important. You look at this Neroka.
Right.
Like for example, the kid who was the guy who was a top scorer or something. Bidyan was his name.
Vidyasagar.
Yeah. So if it wasn't for Neroka, I don't think so. If you understand what I mean. So it's because of Neroka, he's got a platform to play national. And now ISL clubs are, I feel that is very pivotal in promoting kids from our region.
According to you, are there enough platforms in Meghalaya for kids to aspire?
Yeah. I feel at the age grassroots levels, the kids are doing very well. We have the MFA is doing something. The clubs are also doing a lot, and obviously the Hero I-League that is happening for the under 18s or the under 14. That is where the clubs are participating. So the platform is there available, but the only thing I feel is about the senior platform for.
Yeah, that makes sense. But anyway, I mean, I was always very curious with the culture of football in the Northeast. It's very strong. You guys, that side produces alarmingly large number of players for the ISL. So any one of them going away would be a major blow for the national team. Where anyway our pool of players is not that big anyway. So it's very important that that's sustained and kept up. Hopefully, this pandemic and all, everybody can weather it and come back. Because financially, it must have been a blow for everyone.
Yeah, it is.
So now let's go back to your time in BFC. Now you are at BFC. You came to Bangalore. You already lived there before, and you do your studies and things like that. You're comfortable with the place. Did you feel like you came there with a point to prove? Because the improvement. I mean, I remember watching you in Rangtije. I thought, he is a good player, and then you were signed. I was like, okay, they got a good midfielder, but you just went right straight to the top.
It's coaching, it's like you have talent, you have abilities, but then if you don't have the right coach, the right staff behind you working for your development, then it goes to waste. But obviously, I've always credited Ashley, Purdue, and the coaching staff for my progression, and the team, BFC team as a whole, because I feel when I reached BFC, then I really realized how football is and how it is being managed, how a football club, when it comes to training, when it comes to the, when it comes to everything of individual professional football has to behave, the rest, the gym, the training timings, the food, everything, So this is where I felt that made a big impact in my footballing career. Because I remember the first training session, Ashley came to me, is like, mate, you have to do more than this. Otherwise before in Shillong or I will be like, oh, that's enough. But then when Ashley said that, then, it woke me up. Then I felt that I have to work harder. And then, then they start using the GPS, start using this, using that to analyze players. So, I mean, like, training is very important. Having the right person to train, having the right, it's very, very pivotal in your progression. And then eventually BFC was set up by a good coach, and you could see the progress of every player. I think all the players that play for BFC have improved drastically. So I felt that the coaching staff had done a really, really great job.
Well, did it come as a surprise to you when you came from Meghalaya and coming to Bangalore, where things were so professional and something that was more or less unseen in Indian football in the past? You were like, oh my God, this is something really new for me.
It was new and exciting. Because football, like, normally we go train, it's the same usual thing. But then
from small things, right?
Yeah, it's a small things, and it's just the command that a coach has. When you just hear the coach's voice, or it's the command that, it's the presence that's very important. I felt the presence of the coach. The coach has got a presence, and he had a good assistant along with him. So it just it's something that alerts you every training session. And then we have a lot of all this physical check now, like whether we have taken enough water before we train, there's a urine check and all that stuff, whatever. So it just is these small details that help us become better players, and became a team that everyone was afraid to come up against.
So what was it about BFC you think that suited your game? Because I remember thinking, not many people associate you with dribbling the ball they think of the passes, but you were deceptively fast to break through the lines. I told this to Pradyam also said this. He's fast, but you don't notice generally when he's playing, because your movement is very smooth in that sense. So what was it about the team that worked for you?
I think the gym was one thing. I've never done gym before in my life. When I came to, I still remember training when we were training. So when we had a training session in the morning, then we had a gym session in the afternoon. So I think that was the first gym session. And I happened to be at Sunil's group.
Okay.
And Sunil's laughing at me because I couldn't perform any, like, hey, we were doing a deadlift. So at that time, they asked me to do deadlifts. I couldn't, because, they have techniques for doing a gym, for this and that. So I still remember that time when he was laughing at me. He's like, welcome to BFC. So I remember, so it's when I start realizing that it's important, like, there are things that there are small, there are details that help you improve and help you become stronger, faster, injury-free, that. And I think the training schedule, the training timings, the training, everything was perfect at BFC during those days. So I felt that you just felt in sync. When you're training, you feel happy that, oh, I'm training, it's nice. Now you want to go to training. It's not like, oh, another training session, But
well, you spoke about Sunil there. I just wanted to know, everyone associates Sunil to be this really serious guy on the field, and when it comes to his nutrition, his training and everything. Is he also a prankster when it comes to training?
Yeah, he is. He is a bit. I think he's got that, like you said, a great leadership quality. I feel like on the pitch, off the pitch, which is very important. You have players who have good leadership qualities only on the pitch, but off the pitch, they are not great. But I felt that he has, the qualities that make a team, gets a team together, even off the pitch, even when we're off training or, this and that. So I felt that I think he is also one part of BFC that the additional. So I would say like the foundation stones of BFC, I would say the coaches and Sunil being there was very, very important. And, the mentality that he has obviously crept to other players as well. So it has, the club is what it is, I think, because of those foundations.
So I have a couple of stories that I've heard and about Sunil being a prankster. So there are times when he took you guys for a meal and then left without paying or something. Is that true?
I don't think I've been in one of those.
Okay. So I've heard this, but I don't know if it is true. Huh? I've heard this from someone. But then I think this one genuinely happened. This was during the first season. And Kunal he works there, right? He's a media manager for people who don't know. He's also a big part of the team. So they used to have hard-boiled eggs. So he used to throw it onto the roof and then it'll crack and come back, right? So he was showing off like that. I think Sunil gave him like a normal egg in between the hard-boiled egg, and he broke it all over his shirt or pants or whatever it may be. So this is something I've heard. Again, like I maybe misremembering some details. But any such things happened to you? Because Jono was also another prankster.
Yeah, Jono was. I think Jono was a character, a great character in the team. I felt he was a very, very good. I mean, like I think the team had great characters, and Jono was a leader on the pitch as well. So he was one. I mean, even Josh Walker was a great player. And previous season, Johnny Manyongar, he was I think a great leader. Also, I think it's important teams to have leaders.
You played with Manyongar in Shillong, did you?
I played with Manyongar in Shillong, yes.
He was amazing, right?
Yeah, he was a great player.
So who would you say is the best that you played with? There is Manyongar, there is Alvaro Rubio also, who's another great player that you've seen. So who would you say is the best?
I would say they all have their own qualities, Alvaro Rubio was great in a different way. And he was always a supportive midfielder. Like, he always ran, but always Manyongar was Manyongar was good with the ball. Josh Walker was good. Josh Walker was a leader. I mean, like, I think they're all good in their own way. To say about which player I enjoyed playing the most with in BFC, I would say Josh Walker, because I felt while playing with him, he did a lot to help me. I mean, like on the pitch wise, meaning like when you play with him, you know that he's present there. You know what you need to do and you need to do it. I mean that the communication between him and that season, Toy and myself, I think we had a great because you always know, because I would play a bit more attacking and he'd be more defensive. So, we just had, we always had a confidence that Josh Walker was always there, and more when it came to footballing terms, I mean, like to the system that we played at then, I think Josh Walker really, really fit in very well with, and I fit in very well with him. And I think that was also pivotal, and I mean, very great for the season that we had that year. But obviously we missed out on that season with against Monbagan.
So how sad was that? Because we were at the stadium.
Oh my God.
And it was raining and all, I think. And
one crazy night that.
Goal happened and there was like, the whole sound had gone off the stadium. Except obviously not, because Bagan fans were also there. So it just felt like the air had lifted out of the stadium. How did that hurt?
I think 86 minutes. I still remember, maybe 86 minutes.
86, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a tough game. It was raining and we were leading 1-0 and we needed to win. Monbagan just needed to draw.
Right.
And I thought, well, we have 4 minutes more and then we're winning the league. But then that is when I saw the character of the team. Okay, we lost that, but then it's the character of the coach, character of the team. Is like we went back to dressing rooms like, it's not done. Next year we're winning the league. And next year we started off very well from the beginning, because the first that season I think we started very bad.
Yeah,
And
3
the
draws.
following year, the following year we started very well, and then we won the league. And I think that's the character of the coach, character of the team, and the character of the whole squad. After coming after a loss and going back next season to win it.
I remember Ashley coming to the post-match press conference after that match. He said, "I maintain that we didn't lose the league. We just ran out of games." So we were like, "Okay, fair enough, fair enough." But then next year, like you said, he came and won the league again. But was it a shock for you that he left? How did you take the fact that he was leaving? He was very successful, one title every season.
Well, I mean, like you say, management have their own views and that, so you have to just respect whatever view they have.
Okay. So now talking about BFC, it's incomplete without talking about the AFC Cup run. So at that Cup run, years later, I spoke to Sunil about it. We were talking about something and he said, so I have a clip lined up. This is what he told about you, because you had in the Asian Champions League qualifier, I think you hit the direct goal from the corner in Johor, and then that screamer later. So this is what he said about it. Can't hear Naveen. Naveen.
Can you hear that?
No, can't hear. No.
No, can't hear.
Oh, you can't hear the clip. Hold on, just a minute. I'll figure something out.
That goal did that for us. The Eugeneson goal. We were dominated there, man. They scored from a stupid corner. Okay? And then Eugene, man, that scream, man. That just, their heads, you see the video, huh? Their heads go down like this. Pin drop silence. You come back 1-1, man, no matter who you play against. That was Eugene.
So, yeah, he said that is Eugene's ground. But he is right. That goal changed the whole complexion of that game. And weirdly, the day before the semi-final second leg in Johor, we spoke to you. I mean,
the second leg happened in Bangalore. The first leg was in Johor.
So the day before the second leg, we spoke to you. I mean, it was not an interview. We're just talking because you were there. And there was like this serene, this thing. You and Sunil, everybody was calm. Like there was no pressure. You're like, yeah, I mean, at home, we'll see. Maybe we can do it. But then you went on and did it.
No, I think I felt that year when Roca came, and we enjoyed his training sessions, and I think it's before the season that he started playing coaching in the I-League. But I think we did very well, and I think we got along. The coach got along. I think Alvaro Rubio was very important to us because he understood what the coach wanted, and I felt that as a team we are capable. We were capable. I think we had self-belief, which was more important, and the mentality of the players that like we've reached the semi-finals, and I think we need one more step, and then we're into the finals. So I think when you play at home at BFC, you always feel like you have the upper hand with the fans and the ground, because you've played at that ground, and you feel like it's your own, and every inch of the pitch. So it's very, I feel at BFC, at the Kativa, it's like you say, the fortress. Yeah, it is a fortress.
Yeah, that was one of my best experience in person in the stadium.
Absolutely. But Eugene, before we move ahead, take us through that game in Johor when the team was up against the defending champions at their home. Given that the record at home was also really good, what was the mindset going into that match?
How did you take that shot also?
How did that happen?
Actually, if you see, because we've been training a lot when Roca always told me to, be in between the lines. So in between the midfield and defense line, he always told me to be in those pockets. So it actually reciprocated from what happened in training. So in training, we practice a lot of being in pockets, and especially playing in between the lines and, breaking the lines. So I happened to be there because at that time we played Cameron Watson, Alvaro, and myself. So they always expected me to be more of the attacking midfielder. So I would have the privilege to go up, and try to play more like a number 10 role in whenever I go up. So at that moment when he passed me the ball, so and the moment I received the ball, my only thought was have a go at the goalkeeper, So when I struck it, and when I look at the ball, and when it was like, oh.
Then you went down running, celebrating.
Yeah, and the epic celebrations, Vinid and Reno was like, the whole stadium went quiet, and you could hear abuses, but you could hear abuses from the fans, like like. I don't think I can say it here, but that's the joy of playing in the stadiums and playing against teams that and I think we've been up against Johor quite a few times before.
Yeah, right.
Champions League and
playoffs.
Yeah, not only playoffs.
Group stage also.
We were group stage as well.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So you knew them.
And then in Bangalore, the second leg, they scored the first, so that nullified your away goal advantage. But that barely bothered you. What for?
No, like I said, we were very confident, and I think we were confident on the tactics and the players that we had already trained for, and how we were going to play against them. I think we believed, and all the plans that the coach have, the set pieces that we trained, they all worked, because I think 2 goals were set pieces.
Yeah. Vanan and Chetri.
Yeah. You took the corners, right?
Yeah.
One corner, 1 free kick. Yes. So I felt that the pre-match training sessions were very, very helpful for us.
And then Chetri scored that one crazy goal, which he does in such big occasions usually.
And I'll tell you something about that goal. So Chetri doesn't celebrate. That is his problem, right? He doesn't celebrate unless it's like a winning goal. Like he killed the game, so he'll celebrate. So when that goal went in, we were sitting in the press box. No, he didn't celebrate. There was a moment of silence. Like everybody is trying to figure out, did he go in or did it hit the side netting? We don't know. Generally, the player's reaction, you get something. He just turned and walked. And then there was like that 5 seconds of testing before the song, and everybody went up. Our man, Naveen stood up in the press box and was like, he scored the goal. He was standing like this, like, oh, look at that goal. Look at that. He feels like, so I've told Sunil, like, Naveen used to celebrate for you.
I am that invested in every single goal. Like and that, then
we have a laptop and things, and he's like this. We are trying to protect the laptop from the rain and everything, and he's like,
I just push the table down.
Yeah, and the Kyrgyzstan goal also, and Sunil ran from one end of the pitch to the other one. That also, he was standing up as Sunil was running.
JJ's goal, huh?
Yeah.
JJ's return, It was a great goal.
That was a great goal, man. And I think a very tough match for us.
Oh.
We needed to win that match. I felt, it was a very tough match.
Yeah. So, what would you say was your peak season?
I would say the first season with Ashley. I think that is when I realized that the potential that I had, and I think I felt I wasn't tired that season. I felt I had a lot of energy. I had a lot of that I could go on for another game, a few more games. I felt that season was very, very important for me.
Mm-hmm. And what would you say is your best goal?
I don't know, bro. I think all goals are good, I mean, like, I don't have a specific goal that I'd say is good, but obviously I enjoyed every goal that I scored. Obviously they have their special moments, and the different stages or the different value of the goals, so they all have their own meanings.
Now when you look back, do you remember the goals that you have scored, or is it just part of your memory?
Oh no, I do remember some goals. I do remember a few of them. Some of them.
Well, you remember the Johor goal, don't you?
Johor goal, yeah, definitely. I remember both the goals.
You know what? In some way, I think that is probably one of the most important goals in BFC's
Yeah,
history.
I think that was very important. I think the away goal was very important for us.
Yeah. So that's a pivotal moment in that club's history because they became known as this Asian.
I think that we just fell short of the finals by just this much.
Do you want to talk about the final? Do you want to talk about the final?
How was that final though?
I think that was our first time coming up against Middle Eastern teams. Probably we didn't know how, or like I've never come across them, so we don't really know how they feel, how they play, how physical they were. I think tactically we were good enough. I think we could have done better, and I felt that just some small clean mistakes we could have maybe we could have tied and then maybe take it into extra time.
Yeah.
Because if you remember the last free kick set play we had, if Vinit because according to the play, Vinit should have put the ball across, and then there was Johnson, there was Sunil, there was everyone, so it happens in the game, so I mean, like, I think we could have done better if we had more experience playing in the AFC and playing against Middle Eastern team, because we never play against Middle Eastern team. We only play that was the first time we played against the Middle Eastern team first. Right. I think the first time. So we didn't really know how they are, how physical they were. So, I think it's very important. We need to understand, like, get all this, and then,
They're very physically very different, right? Middle Eastern team, much more physically strong.
I think they're strong, they're tall, they're more physical. So when it comes to, unlike Asians,
right?
Not Japanese, not South Koreans. I mean Southeast Asians.
Your Singapore players and your Indonesians and those.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear a story from Doha? With Naveen. So we were there for the final, and obviously we were dejected because we were writing. We were so happy that you guys were going. You're doing interviews, writing features, all these things. And then obviously the final happened and it didn't go your way. So obviously dejected. So our reports are that smaller. Like you're writing 600 words, it became 400 words. You're like, okay, fine, But so I got a call from my editor and I was saying, like, you've been writing big stories. Why did you write small story this time? And I was like, I'm not in the headspace. This is not cool enough. And I was relatively young in the profession also at that. So after that, when we were coming back, there was a cab guy. We were going to take a cab to come back to the hotel. And Naveen's full upset. So that guy said he wanted $20 or whatever, 20 dinars. Whatever the currency is. Like he wanted 20. So Naveen started arguing, like, no, we came here for 14. Why the hell should I give you 20? This went on to the point we thought you were going to get beaten up. And we're like, no, we'll give you 20. After a while, he started imitating that guy's accent also. That's where I thought you were going to get beaten up. But yeah,
I think this is a joy. I think this is a joy of playing, continental matches. Like you travel from one country to another. I think that's a joy.
It's a fun experience. It's always a fun experience.
Yeah. So then, now if I want to ask you some random quick fire questions, so who do you think is the most underrated player you played
with? Underrated player. Okay, in my career or in BFC or
in your career?
In my
career.
You
can say more than one. It doesn't matter.
Quite a lot, man. Like those who have who I feel I've played with. Quite some who I've liked. There are players who I like. I feel Rokas Lamare was one who I feel that really didn't get the, I think he's one player that I really liked. Then I know. I mean, like there are players like Beko. Beko at BFC. I think in his first season at BFC, I think he was very pivotal for BFC. And I think Chwante is a good player, but his injuries have
Hmm.
always gotten the better of him, And I think there are a lot of players, man, that go unnoticed. It's just because some players are not into media, into social media, into this, into that, who don't talk or very quiet, just do their work on the pitch, go home, keep doing it every game, There are a lot of players I feel in India who are like that.
So the best Indian you've played with, and you can't say Sunil.
Best Indian I've played with.
Well, only the questions here are rapid.
I know. I just can't say like.
He
I
has
just can't
played
just
with a
say
lot of
name,
players. He has played
I
with a
know,
lot of players.
Yeah, so I have to, best Indian apart from Sunil. I would say I would say I think Kevin Lobo is a good player.
Hmm.
Kevin Lobo.
Yeah, a lot of people do say that.
Kevin Lobo, Alvin George.
Alvin,
Ah.
oh my.
Alvin George.
When he came to BFC, I expected a lot from him because we were tracking him even before when he was with Dempo and he was playing in the Santosh Trophy. There was a lot of expected, but then I think injuries got the better of him and could never get back to what he promised initially.
I think the number 10 role also went out of the game, right? So he became
I think
a winger.
at BFC we don't play number 10s, no? During Ashley's time. That's why.
He went out. I think even you went out wide a couple of games.
Yeah, some games I went wide. Yes, Ashley kept changing his formations, to suit to play against different teams. He would, to counter the teams, he would change his tactics in a way.
So who would you say the best coach you were?
I think I would say Ashley. I would say because if it wasn't for him, I don't think I would have reached the, like we've talked earlier, like I reached, the heights that I have reached. I don't think I would have reached if it wasn't for him. So I would say he was very important.
Was it during his time in ATK that you also joined ATK, or was it after he left?
Yeah, I think when he came.
When he came,
because they again had the drafts then.
Yeah, he was a TD, I think, right?
Yes, he was.
Yeah. So who do you think is the best player you played against?
Played against. I think I would say I had a tough time when Sony Norde was at his peak for Mohun Bagan. I think he was a very tough player to play against. You
came up against him like 1-on-1?
No, because he would play. Obviously, we had to support the team and everything. I feel like he was. I remember in the final game, that year that we
missed.
We missed on the league. So I took a corner, then he counter-attacked. I was trying to chase him. He was so fast. I couldn't catch him. So,
that's just Sony.
I felt like he was a menace to team. So I felt like he was a tough player to play against.
But damn fun player to watch.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So is there any player that was very awkward for you to play against? Like there is always someone, maybe he's too tall or maybe his rhythm is a little different. Anybody like that who you thought was not necessarily the best player you played against, but very difficult one to play against?
I remember. I think it has to be Senas.
Okay.
Yeah, because you don't know. I know, like he's very physical. You don't know he'll come from somewhere and finish you off. I think he's a very physical player, and I think which is also needed, and especially for me, I don't like people tackling me. So it's when you come against players who like to tackle, you like.
Chale jao yaar.
So, is there any funny story that you have conversation on the field and things with opposition?
No. I don't really, no.
Not a talkative person on the pitch. Okay.
So, is there any funny moment at all in training, playing in and around football field, From your own team also.
No, I mean there are a lot of players who joke around a lot on the pitch, but I hardly, like I'm not a guy who instigates or who starts jokes or anything like that.
Right.
Maybe I would be a part of the joke, but not someone who is a joker who tries to, put up pranks on players like that. So I don't really recall because I'm really not involved myself. So
anything you've seen?
I say like players, like I remember Vishal, if you know him, Vishal Raghavendra, the right back at BFC, remember?
Yeah, Vishal Kumar, right?
Yeah, Vishal Kumar, yes.
Yeah.
So he likes to do pranks with players. So normally after training at BFC, normally that wall, the parapet, the stadium wall where we sit before we enter.
Right.
So players would sit there, and when we have baths, so some players would still be sitting there. He would get the buckets of water from on top, start pouring on players from on top. And these are just small things that he would do, just
That's just the ice bucket challenge.
Yeah, I think these are small things that build a team.
Absolutely.
I think they're very important. Yes.
Like Cabra told some of the funniest things about things on the field, like telling I don't know, Beto, who was it? Some foreigner, Latin American player, that he was going to break him, and then that guy didn't understand English, so he had to point and do this and all. And he got yellow card in the first 20 seconds because he went for a tackle and missed. So yeah, it's a nice thing that when we do these kind of interviews, we see the other side of the players, the funny sides and all those. But generally, press conference will be like, oh, tomorrow's game, yesterday's game, today's game.
Press conversations are boring.
Yeah, press conferences are like, and we need some good coaches who are interested in talking also. Like Ashley used to be one of them. He used to talk, and then he used to get angry sometimes. So that was funny.
He would come with his laptop.
Oh yeah, he came with his laptop after Khalid Jamil incident happened, right? The bottle throwing. He came with his laptop and said, "See, it never hit him. He's just acting." we were all confused. Like, why is he coming with a laptop? I think it's a top camera that you have for the tactical camera. So he's taken that and come. It's like nothing happened to him. He's just milking the situation. And Khalid came with the full head band. Yeah. That was damn hilarious. All in retrospect. At that time, we were like, oh,
what the fuck is happening?
But yeah, generally it was fun. And then one time, now that you mentioned Joshua Walker, right? At the press conference, I had asked him about Walker. Do you think he's an upgrade on Menyongar? Because Menyongar is playing that similar role. He's playing playmaker role. Then he said something, and then I was like, but he doesn't pass forward that much. Most of his passes are sideways.
Sandeep, you should tell the background as well, where you sat and counted the square passes.
So then he told me no, that's nothing like that. No. So the next game, I'm sitting and writing number of passes he passed sideways and number of passes forwards. So then I went with that to him. And I was like, he passed this much sideways, and this is what I've seen. And Ashley got angry. He said something, he's doing all these things for the team, blah, blah, blah. I think it was, like you said, defensively, he was a good player. He was always running, moving and things. So then after the whole thing, at the end of the season, we had a sit-down interview with Ashley. After a while, at the end of the interview, I told him, look, I'm sorry about that day. Then he said, no, it's fine. I have to protect my kids. So it's okay. I'm not angry at you. It's like, cool. So, nice guy. He came on the podcast also, said some funny things at that time. You had media days and things, right? Sorry, you had fan engagements and things, no?
Yeah, we had,
in Arbor and things.
Yeah, I mean like a team get together.
Yeah,
probably.
So he was talking about the stories from there about the people wearing other people's shirt and.
The fancy.
Yeah.
Fancy, shit shirt day or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he was talking about all those. These are things that people maybe they don't know. I was there on Arbor that day. I don't think I came for the event. I was just there to drink.
Okay.
And then I saw Robin in the bathroom changing shirt. And then Robin's like, hey, nothing, brother. This is a shit shirt day. I don't want to wear that shit shirt. I was like, okay, Robin. You had a great bunch of characters in that team, to be fair.
Yeah, we had, yeah.
Vineet was also there. Nothing. Special, different character. So, anything else, Naveen?
No, I'm good.
Okay. So, Eugene, thanks a lot, man. Like, we
Right.
really appreciate it.